Good evening, family. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great start to your week. This is Mylin Harris, founder of Women-Owned Minority Businesses, and we are here for our Pi Power Hour, where, of course, we are getting ready for the weekend. I am coming on like a few minutes later than normal because I had some connection issues, but that's what we got to deal with when you're dealing with technology. But we are here. You got to be consistent, right? I preach consistency, so I better be consistent with this. But again, welcome to Pi Power Hour, and this is where we help you get ready for your week's activities, as you're working towards your milestones, as you're working towards all the good things that you have planned for yourself for your fourth quarter goals. And of course, you know what? If you see my face, go ahead and share this, like and share, so that other folks will have access to this information. Okay. All right. So look, this normally, I might sound a little tired right now. I'm literally in pajamas, right? Because this was my homecoming weekend, Virginia Union. Shout out to my Panthers. The guys won 57-0 against Lincoln. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So this is actually the perfect time to talk about planning for busy folks, right? For those of you who have 9,000 things going on, you have so much going on in your life that you planning actually becomes your friend. But lots of times for our busiest family members, we have a tendency to not want to plan because you don't want to take the time to sit down and plan. But I promise you, it is something that is going to help you so very much, right? So first of all, I want you to understand there is a difference between being busy and being productive. Okay. Being busy, you allow yourself to get into all kinds of things. You're doing this, that, you're trying to do 10 things at the same time. That does not mean you're actually getting anything done, right? It's called, in school, we used to call it busy work, right? You get an assignment and it's just to keep the kids busy. It's not that it's going to actually add to their education. And so lots of times as adults, we find ourselves just being busy with stuff that's not actually leading to anything that's going to help us or something that we want to do or something that we love, right? It's just stuff that we have to do. So being busy versus being productive, planning allows you to be productive versus just being busy, meaning the things that you are doing are taking care of things that you know that have to be taken care of. You're prioritizing and you're moving yourself towards your goals. You're actually doing things that allow you to be able to do more, to be able to spend more time with your family, to be able to make more money, to be able to take more vacations, whatever it is, right? And so you want to make sure that you are allowing yourself to be productive and not busy by taking the time to plan out what your activities are going to be. So planning for the unplanned is the other piece of this. Part of being someone who is quote unquote busy, one thing that usually throws us off is when something happens that's not planned, right? Something comes into your week. You weren't expecting it, whether it's good or bad. You weren't expecting it. And so you kind of get thrown off. And so if you are not someone who's regular, you don't even know how to fit that thing in. Even you can't look at your plan and say, okay, this thing happened. I can move X, Y, and Z around so that things still can get done. So if you're not someone who's planning, when things that are unexpected happens, it throws you off. It'll throw you off for the whole week, sometimes even longer. And so you want to make sure that you are planning, you are sitting down like we're doing tonight, taking that hour, taking that 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., or 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., or 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., or 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I don't care what time, but taking some time at the beginning of your week to look at what your week looks like, look at what you have, the things that you have to do, so you can prioritize the things that you have to do, the things that you have to do in your business, the things that you have to do for your home, and then allowing yourself to say, okay, I have pockets of time that I know that if something happens, it's not going to throw me off. Lots of times what I'll do, and I'm using homecoming as my example. I knew homecoming was happening, right? I knew I was going to go. I'm a Panther. I got to go to homecoming. Homecoming is on Saturday. Homecoming game starts at 1 p.m. I was not planning to go out Friday night, but my roommate, my best friend, Rini, shout out, came down and we decided we're going to go out on Friday night, right? Because it was a great party. Shout out to Daryl Johnson. Great party Friday night. And we went out Saturday night. I'm exhausted. Y'all, I'm 48 years old. I can't go out like, um, you know, 3 times in a row back to back. I'm exhausted. But I knew that I could. Why? Because I have everything for this coming week, for class on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, for our Virginia Connect meeting on Tuesday. I have all that stuff done because I knew last week that homecoming was coming, and something always happens that's not expected during homecoming weekend. And I said, if I wait until Monday or Tuesday to make my copies or create my slides or whatever I need to do, I'm going to be messed up. So I planned ahead, expecting unexpected things to happen during homecoming weekend. And so you want to make, and that's just an example. You want to make sure, as a person who's busy, as a person who has a lot on your plate, that you are creating spaces for yourself so that when something does happen, it still can fit into your calendar. It's not going to throw you off at all. I'm tired. That's the other really, I guess it wasn't unexpected because I'm tired. I should have known after the whole weekend I'm be tired. So I'm not going to be up until 10 or 11 working on things. I did that stuff ahead of time because I already knew, girl. What happens at the end of homecoming? You better get some stuff done now because you can be wiped out on Sunday. And so now I can go to bed at a human time and still be able to do everything I need to do this coming week, right? So you have to make sure when you're planning that you create pockets of time for yourself. One thing that you can do to do that is, let's say that that it takes you. I teach twice a week, actually 3 times now, with the Cultural Roots Homeschool Cooperative, right? So I know it takes me about an hour to get all of my planning stuff done, right? But I also knew homecoming was this weekend. So on my schedule last week, I created an extra hour. I put an extra hour of planning so that I could plan for 2 weeks instead of just planning for one, right? That gave me, now that I have that extra hour, I'm not stressed out tonight because I'm tired tonight, but I already did it. So sometimes when you're looking at your plan, you got some stuff that's going to come up that might throw. So you got some family coming in, or there's a birthday coming up. Make sure that you give yourself extra pockets of time in your calendar, right? Something that normally would take you an hour, add an extra 15 minutes so you can work on a little bit more, so that you're giving yourself some grace when it comes to, like, oh my goodness, now it's Sunday night and I still got to do all these things because I didn't do it last week, and you're panicking. Make sure that you are planning for the unexpected, okay? And the last thing I'll tell you about is what I call CEO days. And so a CEO day for me, as an entrepreneur, and those of you, and most of you are watching this now, watching this in the replay, hashtag replay. If you're watching this in the replay, most of you are entrepreneurs that are watching this, right? That's who I talk to all the time. So a CEO day is not just an hour. it's a day that you don't take calls. This is a day that you're not doing normal business stuff. It's a day that you can sit down and you get all of your, what I call my back office stuff done. I look through my financials on my CEO day, look at how my numbers came in last week, anticipate what's going to happen this week, what's coming in this week, what expenses have to be paid out this week, where can I move money around this week, whatever, right? I look at my financials on CEO day. I look at my emails, right? I go back and look to, okay, who did I miss an email that I have to go back and follow up on? Who do I need to follow up on again this week? What days do I need to schedule certain emails out? I schedule out my emails on my CEO day. I will prospective clients or folks I know that I want to follow up with. Maybe I've talked to them before. I want to follow. So I'm going to plan out, okay, what day am I going to follow up with this person? I know this person is available on Tuesdays, but this person is not available usually until Thursday. So I map all of that out. So a CEO day allows you to kind of block out the world for a little while and look at the things that move your business that you normally, it's the things that you have to do that lots of times we tend to put on the back burner, right? You gotta look at your financials. You have to look at your reports. You have to look at those KPIs so that you know that you're keeping up with your goals. Otherwise, you get lost in the weeds. You get lost in the weeds of working on your day-to-day stuff in your business, and you don't get a chance to really focus on making sure you're still moving towards those goals, right? And so normally my CEO, they used to be on Mondays. Now I just use my Sunday as my CEO day. And so even though we have a power hour from 8 to 9, most of Sunday, like I don't take calls and things like that on Sundays anymore. After I finish my daytime stuff, Sunday afternoon, by the time I get to Sunday afternoon, I'm in CEO mode. I'm just kind of planning stuff out. I'm pulling up reports. I'm jotting things down on my schedule, looking at my goals for the quarter. Okay, where am I on what adjustments do I need to make this week or next week? What can I add on? What do I need to take away? So I give myself, and even though every Sunday is a power hour for me, my CEO day might be every other, like every other week, not necessarily every single Sunday, but it allows me to make sure that I'm staying up on all of the things that I really want to track in my business, right? Having goals, whether we talk about planning, implementing, executing. So it's great to have your goals planned out. It's great to have them implemented, of course, but if you want to get to that last piece, that execution, and make sure they get done, you have to track it. You have to go back and look at what you're trying to accomplish, and to see where you are in the process. You have to track your numbers. That's why SMART goals we say they have to be measurable, right? You got to be able to measure where you are in the process. And so it's not necessarily something you have to do every single day or every single week, but a couple of times a month. Take the time to go back and look at your numbers, look at your reports, look at your conversations. What are those KPIs that you are tracking, so that you can take the time to track them to see how they're working out. You don't write a KPI, and if you don't know the KPI is, I keep saying that, right? If you don't know the KPI is key performance indicator. What are the things that you're tracking to let you know that you're being successful, right? And they come in a lot of different, maybe next week we'll specifically talk about KPIs. So they come in a lot of different, different forms, different parts of your business will have KPIs that you are looking at on a regular basis to make sure that you are moving forward in your business. And it's not something that you can just glance over. It takes a little bit more time. So those CEO days are maybe, twice a month, where you really sit down for a couple of hours to make sure that you're on track with everything. You should be paying attention to your financial books. You should be paying attention to your financial books. What's coming in? What's going out? How much money did you make this month? Or how much money have you made so far this quarter in comparison to last quarter? Or in comparison to how much money you made this time last year? So, those are things that you should be paying attention to. if your goal is to get to 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures, you're not going to do that if you're not paying attention to your money. Okay. Well, that was a loud smack. Y'all, look. So, if you need some help with that, this is the time to make sure that you're jumping into our circle meetings. It's happening this week coming up. Right, this week we have our circle meetings. So tomorrow, North Carolina, you are up. Our virtual North Carolina meeting, our North Carolina Connect meeting, is tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Zoom. If you go to wombbiz.org/circle meetings, just scroll down. It's the very first one. Just RSVP for the North Carolina Connect. So if you're anywhere in North Carolina, you can register for that one. If you're in Virginia, we're meeting on Tuesday virtually. Again, go to our Circle Meetings tab, and you're going to click on the Virginia Connect and RSVP for that. And Wednesday is our Maryland meeting. So if you're anywhere in Maryland, also it's virtual. So if you're in Maryland, Circle Meetings, it's the third one down. All right. RSVP for that, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, if you're not in Virginia, North Carolina, or Maryland, you're anywhere else in the country, you want to register for our national circle meeting, which is going to be on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. That one's always a little bit later just because we have folks on the West Coast too. All right. So 7:30 p.m. on Thursday. If you're not in Maryland, Virginia, or North Carolina, you want to attend our national circle meeting at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. All right. You're going to have a chance to connect with other women. You're going to have a chance to talk about your goals. You're going to have a chance to talk about KPIs, all those fun things. And our training for this month, we're going to be focusing on Black Friday and how to get a really good, solid Black Friday funnel out to your list, so that you get that Black Friday sale going, y'all. This is, you got to talk about it. It's October. It's coming faster than you know. So you want to make sure that you're planning for Black Friday. For those of you, which all of us should be doing something for Black Friday. You got to sell something. Take advantage of it. This is the time that people want this. This is the only time people in the whole country say, yes, we want to spend money. So you want to take advantage of that. So we'll be doing some training on Black Friday this week. Black Friday funnels for a Black Friday sale this week at our circle meeting. So make sure that you attend and register. All right. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me tonight for our Power Hour. Take the time to finish up your action steps for this week. And of course, I will be here next Sunday at 8 p.m. to get you into the following week. Be blessed and be a blessing. And I will see you at circle meetings this week. All right. Have a great night, guys. Bye.